Disclaimer, just in case you didn't know, dragons aren't real, and I am a hypocrite. You will hear me saying things like, this isn't scientifically accurate, and then immediately do something that isn't scientifically accurate. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. This isn't a guide to the universe. It's a dragon tutorial. Also, if you want to screenshot any of the drawings from this tutorial, you are quite welcome, but do not repost it anywhere without credit and do not remove the watermarks. I will accept tracing for learning purposes, but do not post said tracings and credit it as your own work. I hope this tutorial helps you improve where you need to. Disclaimers over. Hi y'all! Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw basic dragon anatomy, not to mention some face angles too. All sections are time-lapsed in the description, so let's get into it.
6'4" and full of muscle.
If you've ever picked up a how to draw book, you know that anatomy is mostly just circles. If we look at this example I have here, you'll see that all the circles are just to indicate some form of joint, such as shoulder, elbow, wrist, shoulder, wing, elbow, wing, wing hand with super long wing fingers, whatever the top part of your leg is called, knee, second knee, ankle, head, chest, booty. This is all your basic circles. You can use these circles when you're sketching your characters, or you can go with a completely different approach.
I said, do you speak my language?
As you can tell, this is a lot more detailed than the previous example. In this one, the body is broken up into 3 parts: rib cage, chest area, waist, and pelvis. Now let's get onto the legs. Now technically, if I was being scientifically accurate, the front legs would look more like this, like a dog's. But if I was being more scientifically accurate, this dragon wouldn't have 4 legs. Also, if their legs were this shape, they wouldn't be able to spread their arms out, which they kind of need for more animated body language. As for the back legs, this is the thigh, and this is the other thigh, and the knee, and that's the other bone. Did I mention this was basic anatomy? The tail is very easy to draw. It's literally just a line that gets smaller towards the end. Boom, wasn't that easy? I also recommend trying different shapes, positions, especially depending on what type of character you're doing. Like, try and get the personality represented in the tail a little bit. You know, like, how would they hold themselves? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself. Okay, let's talk about the wings. Wings are literally just like our arms, shoulder, elbow, hand, just with extra long fingers. If you find it hard to find a position for your wings, just try moving your own arm in the position that you want. Also, for the webbing, do it all between the fingers of the thing and then connecting to the body. And I also do a little bit here because that's technically how it would look scientifically, because actually they can't fly without it actually. And if anyone tells you you should draw an elbow finger, they are wrong and probably a hypocrite. I don't care, Wings of Fire did it. It's not scientifically accurate! But what if you want to draw the body in different angles? Try drawing this grid over it. Just go over the rib cage and the pelvis and do lining of like the sides and the bottom and where the front sides are. And then it's really quite easy to move it around. And then it should look like this. I used a similar technique when I was animating Rel for my Run from Royalty scenes. As you can see here, I needed to keep the body very consistent, and so that's why I just made up a little grid. It looks slightly different because sometimes the body shapes just change. I don't know. I'm not crazily consistent with my art, guys, and neither should you be. You don't have to be. Okay, it's okay. So if you were to put all that into practice for the front-facing body, it would look like this. As you can see the chest and a tiny bit of the pelvic, because it's like, it's still there, it's very 3D, just look at it from perspective, and then you got a bit of tail, bit of legs, yada 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 yada. I also did the circles here to indicate the wing joints because I don't have enough room to draw them, and honestly, I struggle with drawing wings from the front because they are 2-dimensional and that's hard. Now let's get on to different shaped bodies. Basically, if you want to draw a super duper skinny body, just pull in where all the lines are, but then keep where the circle guidelines are, sort of keep them their same size to give them a really, really tiny figure. If you want to make them a bit more chunky, you can expand all the circles, still trying to keep a little bit of the shape, but you still want to keep it very smooth. Now, if you wanted to have more of a muscular look, you could expand the circles but keep them tight and still have a lot of silhouette and muscle shape to it. And that's all the body advice I have for you. Let's get on to the next one.
just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich.
Let's start with the basics. Circle, draw a line through the middle. This is where the eye should settle. Slightly towards the front. The nostril can align with the bottom of the nose, but I wouldn't live by this guideline. Draw, jawline, forehead, horns, ears, spikes, nostrils, eyes. I'm not really teaching you, am I? I'm just showing you. Okay, now angles. This is where it gets tricky. Draw the X guideline that your art teacher's always telling you to do. Where the two lines meet should be where the snout starts. If you're having trouble with drawing snouts, I recommend drawing a 3D rectangle to get the right angle. The line that is going horizontal is where the eyes should go. Not too far back, not too far forward, just in the middle. Since it is a 3/4 angle, the second eye should be a bit smaller because it sort of wraps around the head, since the head is a 3D object. Okay, you don't want it to look like this. That if it's sticking out too much, then the character will look like its face is completely flat towards the front, which is, if your character's face is flat, then like go for it. But if it isn't, then it should probably wrap around the side. But who am I to tell you? If you have a character with eyelashes, hey girl, you gotta have them sticking out, because then like they're free. Why am I saying you gotta? You don't gotta do anything, but it sticks out because it's 3D. Little things to keep in mind: show both horns. It's the angle. They could either be sticking down or up, or it's usually good to have them sticking down because it's easier to angle them that way, but that's just what I find. The nostril should be placed towards the front, slightly lower down, in line with the box shape. Also, the eyes shouldn't pass over the snout. It doesn't make sense. Unless you're drawing a character from Wallace and Gromit! They need room for the snout between their eyes, just like people and their noses. But this can really be modified depending on your character's facial features. Okay, on to the next angle. Forward faces, or what I would like to call the devil. This is where we go into the territory of, this is my stylistic choice. It doesn't exactly make sense, but it looks gorgeous. So it's the grain of salt thing, babe. The grain of salt thing. Draw a circle with an X completely straight with the lines meeting in the middle to indicate looking forward. We're going to draw that rectangle for the snout to sort of indicate where it should be. Now I just sort of draw like a human face, like straight down the sides, pointy chin, yada 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 yada. I wouldn't do a completely pointy chin because technically they wouldn't really have much of a pointy chin. I think it would be more flat and then sort of go off to the sides, but anyway. From here onwards, it's really up to you how much you want to draw. You could draw the nostrils, top of the nose. I just draw a line to indicate the top of the nose, to quote myself last time I did a tutorial. If anyone compares it to like an anime nose, I will drop kick your grandmother. As for the ears, in my style, I draw them very pointy, so I have them sticking out quite a lot, which I think makes the silhouette look very nice. Just having them bent back along the side of the head, just like it makes them look too small. I like having big pointy ears. That's just my opinion though. Also horns, I just have them sticking up, bending towards the middle, depending on the shape of the horns, yada 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 yada. And that's all I have for you today. I would recommend looking through other artists' work and seeing if their anatomy lines up with this one, especially since dragons are fictional and their anatomy can really vary with every individual person. But I hope this helped you out. If you would like to screenshot the references, feel free to do them now. But again, please don't go against my guidelines at the beginning. If you would like me to do more tutorials in the future, let me know. I know I'm terrible at talking, explaining, and basically all the key features of a tutorial, but still I will try my best. And if you need some individual help, feel free to DM me on my Instagram or just whatever you can DM on. Please do not bother me though, because constant texting is annoying. I actually have a life. Please leave me alone. And that's all I have for you today. Please check out my socials and goodbye. Yippee!